In the heart of a small industrial town nestled in northern England, a young woman named Emily Watson carried the weight of her world on her shoulders. At 28, she had become the silent backbone of her struggling family. Her days a relentless cycle of hard work and quiet determination. The morning light crept through the thin curtains of their modest council flat, casting long shadows on the worn wooden floor. Emily moved quietly, careful not to wake her mother, who had been battling health issues for months. Her younger brother Tom still slept, exhausted from his recent job hunt. She prepared a simple breakfast, toast with margarine and the last of their jam, carefully rationing each slice. The kitchen was small, with peeling wallpaper and a rickety table that had seen better days. Photographs of her late father hung on the wall, his eyes seeming to watch over the family he had left behind 2 years ago. The bakery where Emily worked was just a 10-minute walk from their home. Old Mr. Roberts, the owner, had been kind enough to give her extra hours when he could. She knew every crack in the pavement, every shortcut through the narrow streets, her path etched by years of routine and necessity. Her morning shift started at 5:30 a.m. The bakery was warm and filled with the comforting smell of fresh bread and pastries. Emily's hands moved quickly and precisely, kneading dough, arranging trays, and serving the early morning customers, factory workers, delivery drivers, and local shopkeepers. They all knew her by name, recognizing the quiet strength behind her. Tired smile. Between the bakery job and her evening cleaning work at the community center, Emily had little time to breathe. Her clothes were always neat but worn, her shoes carefully mended multiple times. Every penny counted, every opportunity was a lifeline. Tom was struggling to find steady work. At 22, he had dreams of becoming a mechanical engineer, but the local job market was tough. Emily had been paying for his evening classes, believing in his potential more than he believed in himself. Their mother's medical bills were a constant worry, each envelope that arrived bringing a new wave of anxiety. Despite everything, Emily found moments of beauty. Sometimes, during her lunch break, she would sit by the small park near the bakery, watching children play and listening to the distant sounds of the town waking up. Those brief moments were her sanctuary, her small rebellion against the endless cycle of work and worry. The community knew her story without her having to say a word. Mrs. Thompson from the corner shop would sometimes slip her an extra loaf of bread. The local librarian would save newspapers with job advertisements for Tom. These small acts of kindness were the threads that held their fragile world together. In the evenings after her cleaning shift, Emily would return home and cook a simple meal. She'd help her mother with her medication, listen to Tom's frustrations about job hunting, and then sit quietly, mending clothes or planning the next day's budget. Her dreams had long been put on hold. University, travel, personal ambitions, these were luxuries she could not afford. Her world was defined by responsibility, by the need to keep her family afloat in a sea of economic uncertainty. Yet, there was a fire in Emily that could not be extinguished. Her quiet resilience was her greatest strength. She did not complain, did not blame the world for her challenges. Instead, she faced each day with a determination that spoke volumes about her character. As night fell and the town grew quiet, Emily would sometimes allow herself a moment of reflection. She would look at the photographs of her father, remember his words about family and perseverance, and find the strength to continue. Her story was not unique. In towns across England, countless individuals like Emily were fighting their own silent battles, holding their families together with nothing more than hope, hard work, and an unbreakable spirit. The night would settle in, and Emily would prepare for another day, another challenge, another opportunity to prove that love and determination could overcome any obstacle. Her journey was just beginning, and though she did not know it yet, her quiet struggle was about to transform into something extraordinary. The mechanical workshop, where Tom had hoped to secure his apprenticeship, suddenly closed, sending shockwaves through their already fragile family situation. Tom walked home that grey afternoon, his shoulders slumped, a crumpled rejection letter crushed in his hand. Emily listened carefully as Tom explained how the small local workshop had gone bankrupt. Economic challenges were hitting their town hard, and another business had fallen victim to the ongoing struggles. The news meant more than just a lost job opportunity. It threatened their carefully constructed financial balance. Their mother, Margaret, sat quietly in her worn armchair, her thin hands trembling slightly. She understood better than anyone the pressure this would place on Emily. Medical treatments were expensive, and Tom's potential income had been a crucial part of their survival strategy. That evening, Emily did something she rarely allowed herself to do. She cried. But only for a moment. Tears were a luxury she could not afford for long. Instead, she spread out their household ledger, a worn notebook filled with careful calculations and tight budgeting. The kitchen table became her war room. She calculated every possible scenario, cutting expenses wherever she could. The electricity bill would be reduced by using fewer appliances. Meals would become simpler, more economical. Her evening cleaning job would now become even more critical. Tom felt defeated. At 22, he had dreams of becoming a mechanical engineer, but opportunities seemed to vanish faster than they appeared. Emily noticed his growing depression and knew she needed to act quickly. She couldn't let him lose hope. One weekend, Emily began experimenting with baking. She had always been good at making pastries, but now she saw an opportunity. Using her small savings, she bought basic ingredients and started creating beautiful, delicious pastries. Her first attempts were modest, simple fruit tarts and traditional English scones. The local farmers' market became her testing ground. She would wake up early on Saturday mornings, carefully packaging her baked goods in simple brown paper. Her first day was nerve-wracking. Would people even notice her small stall? To her surprise, people did notice. Mrs. Roberts from the bakery, where Emily worked full-time, became her first supporter. She tasted Emily's scones and recommended them to her regular customers. Word spread quickly in their small town. Tom began helping her, seeing an opportunity to support the family. He designed simple packaging, created a small sign for her market stall, and helped transport her baked goods. For the first time in months, he felt useful, connected to a potential solution. Their mother, despite her health challenges, became their biggest cheerleader. From her armchair, she would offer recipes passed down through generations, sharing stories of how her own mother had survived difficult times. The first month was challenging. Some days, Emily would sell only a few pastries. Other days, her entire stock would sell out within hours. She learned quickly about pricing, about customer preferences, about the delicate art of running a small business. Local shop owners began to take notice. Mr. Peterson, who owned the corner store, started displaying her pastries. The community center where she worked began requesting her baked goods for their weekly meetings. What started as a desperate attempt to generate extra income slowly transformed into something more. Emily discovered she had a genuine talent for baking. Her pastries were not just food, they were a connection to her community, a way of showing love and resilience. Tom found renewed energy. He began helping her develop a small business strategy, using his technical skills to create simple marketing materials. Their relationship, always close, became a true partnership. Their mother watched with quiet pride. Despite the challenges, her children were finding their way. They were not just surviving. They were beginning to build something meaningful. As winter approached, Emily's small pastry business became a symbol of hope. In a town struggling with economic uncertainty, her little stall represented something powerful, the ability to create opportunity where none seemed to exist. Her quiet determination had transformed an unexpected challenge into a potential pathway forward. The family that had seemed on the brink of despair was now united, resilient, and filled with a cautious but genuine hope. The water pipe burst on a cold Tuesday morning, like a sudden violent betrayal of their already fragile existence. A loud crack echoed through their small council flat, followed by the terrifying sound of rushing water. Tom was the first to react, scrambling to shut off the main valve, but the damage was already done. Water poured through their living room, soaking their few precious belongings. Emily's carefully preserved family photographs, her mother's cherished blanket, Tom's technical books, all were threatened by the rapid flood. Their modest savings, kept in a small metal box beneath the kitchen sink, became instantly vulnerable. Margaret, their mother, watched in silent shock from her armchair. Her medical papers, important documents, and the few memories she had preserved were getting soaked. The look of helplessness in her eyes cut deeper than the water destroying their home. Emily's first instinct was to save what she could. Her hands moved quickly, grabbing towels, buckets, anything that might stop the spreading destruction. Tom helped, but they both knew this was beyond their control. The water kept coming, merciless and unforgiving. By midday, a local plumber confirmed their worst fears. The entire pipe system needed replacement. The cost would be astronomical, far beyond anything they could possibly afford. The estimate Mr. Jenkins provided was like a punch to their already wounded hopes. £5,000, he said, his voice matter-of-fact. Minimum. Those words hung in the air like a death sentence. Emily's pastry business, Tom's job hunting, their careful budgeting, all of it seemed futile against this sudden catastrophe. Their modest savings of just over £800 would barely cover a fraction of the repairs. That night they sat in the local community centre, the only dry space they had. Water damage had made their flat temporarily uninhabitable. Margaret's medication was soaked, her medical records destroyed. Tom's technical study materials were ruined. Emily's small business records gone. The weight of their situation pressed down on them. For the first time, Emily felt her legendary composure crack. Tears weren't just possible, they became inevitable. She stepped outside, allowing herself a moment of pure, raw vulnerability. The town seemed to sense their struggle. Mrs. Roberts from the bakery brought them warm blankets. Mr. Peterson offered storage for their remaining dry belongings. The community centre manager allowed them to use the space temporarily. Tom, seeing his sister's breakdown, made a decision. He would take any job available, manual labour, night shifts, anything. Dreams of becoming a mechanical engineer would have to wait. Survival was now the only priority. Emily's pastry business, which had been their beacon of hope, now seemed fragile. How could she continue when their basic living situation was so precarious? The farmer's market stall, her small source of additional income, felt like a distant dream. Their mother's health added another layer of complexity. Her medical treatments couldn't be interrupted. Each missed treatment could potentially worsen her condition. The medical bills were already a constant source of stress. In this moment of absolute vulnerability, something unexpected happened. The community began to rally around them. Local businesses, neighbors, even people they barely knew started offering help. A fundraising page was set up. The community center organized a support meeting. Emily realized that their strength wasn't just in their individual capabilities, but in their ability to connect with others. Their vulnerability became their greatest asset. People didn't see them as victims, but as a family fighting against overwhelming odds. As night fell, huddled together in the community center, they made a pact. They would face this challenge together. No single obstacle, no matter how devastating, would break their spirit. Tom would find work. Emily would expand her pastry business. Their mother would focus on her health. The water had destroyed their physical space, but it could not destroy their hope. Their breaking point was not an end, but a beginning. A moment of transformation was about to unfold, powered by love, resilience, and an unbreakable family bond. The town moved like a single heartbeat when it came to supporting Emily's family. Mr. Peterson, a retired carpenter with weathered hands and a kind smile, arrived at their damaged flat the very next morning. He brought his toolbox, years of experience and a determination to help. "We'll fix this," he told Emily, his voice steady and reassuring. Within days, he had organized a small team of local workers, some retired, some currently unemployed, who donated their time and skills to repair the water-damaged flat. The community center became their lifeline. Mrs. Roberts from the bakery used her connections to help Tom find work. She knew the owner of a local mechanical workshop who was looking for a young, energetic apprentice. Tom's technical skills and newfound determination impressed the workshop owner. Meanwhile, Emily's pastry business received unexpected support. Local shop owners began ordering her baked goods in larger quantities. The farmer's market stall, which had started as a desperate attempt to earn extra money, now became a symbol of hope for the community. Margaret, their mother, found unexpected Support through the local health support group. Volunteers helped with her medical appointments, brought her medication, and provided companionship during Emily's working hours. Her health began to stabilize, a small miracle in their challenging journey. The fundraiser organized by the community center surprised everyone. What started as a modest effort to help one family quickly became a powerful demonstration of collective support. Local businesses donated, individuals contributed what they could, and within weeks they had raised enough to cover most of their emergency repairs. Tom's new apprenticeship was more than just a job. The workshop owner, Mr. Thompson, saw potential in the young man. He offered not just work but mentorship. Tom learned quickly, his hands finding purpose in the precision of mechanical work. Emily's pastry business began to transform. What had started as a survival strategy was becoming a genuine passion. She started experimenting with traditional recipes, adding her own creative twist. Local cafes began requesting her unique baked goods, recognizing the love and skill in each creation. The family's living space became a testament to community support. Donated furniture, carefully mended clothes, small gifts from neighbors. Each item told a story of kindness. Their flat, once a symbol of their struggles, now reflected the strength of human connection. Local schools heard about their story. Emily was invited to speak to students about resilience, about turning challenges into opportunities. Her simple, honest approach resonated with young people who were struggling to find their path. Tom's technical skills caught the attention of local education providers. Discussions began about sponsorship for further technical training, a dream that had seemed impossible just months earlier. His workshop mentor became a powerful advocate for his continued education. Margaret's health improved not just through medical treatment, but through the emotional support she received. Volunteers would sit with her, share stories, help her feel connected. Her spirit, which had been fragile, now seemed more resilient. The community's embrace was more than financial support. It was about seeing each other as extended family. Emily's family had become a symbol of hope, a reminder that collective support could overcome individual challenges. Local media picked up their story. A small feature in the regional newspaper highlighted how a community could come together during difficult times. Their journey became an inspiration, a practical demonstration of human kindness. As winter approached, the family's situation had dramatically transformed. Their flat was repaired. Tom had a promising apprenticeship. Emily's pastry business was growing. Margaret's health was stable. What had seemed like a breaking point had become a breakthrough. The support wasn't just about solving immediate problems. It was about restoring dignity, providing hope, showing that no individual or family was truly alone. Each act of kindness, no matter how small, was a thread in a larger tapestry of community support. Emily would often reflect on this period, understanding that their greatest strength had never been individual resilience, but their ability to connect, to be vulnerable, to accept help. The community hadn't just saved them, they had transformed them. Their story became a quiet legend in the small industrial town, a testament to the power of human connection, of seeing beyond individual struggles to our shared humanity. 1 year had passed since the water pipe incident that nearly destroyed their family. The transformation was nothing short of remarkable. Emily stood in the community center kitchen, surrounded by a group of young adults learning to cook and bake, her dream finally taking shape. Her community cooking program had become more than just a cooking class. It was a lifeline for struggling families, a place where people learned not just about food, but about resilience, hope, and supporting one another. Each week, more people joined: unemployed youth, single parents, elderly individuals looking for connection. Tom had completed his technical certification with flying colors. The local mechanical workshop, where he had started as an apprentice, now considered him an essential team member. His journey from a struggling young man to a skilled technician was a source of pride for the entire family. Margaret's health had improved significantly. The community support network continued to check on her, bringing her meals, helping with medical appointments, and providing companionship. Her spirit was stronger than ever, her eyes now filled with hope instead of worry. The small pastry business Emily had started had grown into something much larger. Local cafes and restaurants now regularly ordered her baked goods. She had hired 2 part-time workers from the community, young people who needed a chance, just as she had once needed one. Every Saturday, the farmers' market remained a testament to their journey. Emily's stall was now one of the most popular, with people coming not just for the delicious pastries, but for the story of hope they represented. Tom would often help, managing the business side with the skills he had learned. The community center had become a hub of support and learning. Emily's cooking program taught more than just culinary skills. It taught budgeting, nutrition, and most importantly, how to support one another during difficult times. Local businesses began sponsoring the program, seeing its value. Mr. Peterson, the retired carpenter who had first helped repair their flat, became a mentor to many young people in the community. His workshop became a place of learning, where skills were shared and hope was rebuilt. He often spoke about Emily's family as an example of resilience. Tom's technical skills had opened up new opportunities. He was now considering further education, with local businesses offering potential sponsorship. His journey from a struggling young man to a skilled technician inspired other young people in the town. The fundraiser that had once saved their family had transformed into a permanent community support network. Local businesses, individuals, and community organizations now worked together to help families facing difficult times. Emily's family had become the inspiration for this broader support system. Margaret had become a storyteller in the community. She would sit with younger generations, sharing stories of resilience, of how families could overcome challenges by supporting one another. Her wisdom became a valuable resource for the entire community. The local media continued to follow their story. What had started as a simple feature had become an ongoing narrative of hope and transformation. Emily was invited to speak at local schools and community events, sharing their journey of resilience. Their flat, once a symbol of struggle, was now a warm, welcoming home. Photographs of their journey lined the walls, images of challenges overcome, of community support, of hope restored. Each picture told a story of transformation. The cooking program expanded. Emily began offering specialized classes for families, struggling with budget constraints, teaching them how to create nutritious meals with limited resources. Local businesses began supporting the initiative, seeing its potential to help the community. Tom's technical skills continued to grow. He began mentoring younger apprentices, sharing the lessons he had learned about perseverance and hard work. His journey from a struggling young man to a skilled professional inspired many. As another year approached, the family reflected on their journey. They had not just survived, they had thrived. Their story was a powerful reminder that with community, support, resilience, and love, no challenge was insurmountable. The small industrial town had been transformed. What had once been a place of economic struggle was now a community of hope, of support, of collective resilience. Emily's family had become a symbol of what was possible when people came together. Their journey was far from over, but now they faced the future not with fear, but with hope, strength, and an unbreakable belief in the power of community.